Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel Logic Flow. In the previous video we were discussing about MCQ. So we discussed 6 MCQs and also the related topics from each and every chapter. So let us continue that MCQ. We will proceed with the MCQ and also the related some important topics that what you can refer for MCQ. So those who are new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you can get the notification of all the new videos. Watch the video till the end, do not skip the video, and if you like the video, please click on the like button and share the video to all your friends. So let's get started with the MCQ now. So we discussed about the 6th MCQ. Till 6th we discussed, that is from function overloading. We saw the important topics from which we can refer for MCQ. Let us continue with the next question, that is from constructors and destructors. This is actually the MCQ from the board. So this is the model question paper from the PU board. So we discussed 6 questions in the previous video. You can check the playlist to refer to the previous video. This is part 2 now, that what we are discussing. So it is from constructor and destructor. The question is like this. Constructor should be declared in which section? So it is public. The answer is public. So we'll see the related topics later on. The next, it is from inheritance. If a class is derived from more than one base class, then it is called as multiple inheritance. Multiple means, see, we always get confused with multi-level and multiple. So multi-level means it is level by level. Multiple means you have to think in such a way that you have many base classes, multiple base classes. More than one base class means it is multiple. Multiple means many base classes. And talking about hierarchical, it will be in tree structure. I think you all have studied about the hierarchical data model in database concepts, or it may be hierarchical structure in data structure regarding trees. So it is like tree structure, right? So that is, tree means you will have one base with many derived classes. But here it is, if a class is derived from more than one base class means you will have multiple base classes. Multiple base classes means it is multiple inheritance. All the other possible topics we'll see later. Next, this is with pointer. Actually, this chapter I had told you to skip, but for MCQ purpose, you have to go through few topics. We'll see that. So in the model paper, the question is like this. They have given a program segment. A pointer variable is declared and a normal variable is declared and initialized with the value 20. Then I say I have to say pointer equal to ampersand of n, address of n, but here it is asterisk. And as I output, the output is PTR. So there is nothing stored here. PTR is a pointer variable that can store the address, but I need to use ampersand operator here. Ampersand has to be used, but here I am using asterisk. So the error is invalid indirection. Right. So it is not invalid pointer declaration also. Pointer is declared correctly. Statement missing, all the statements are there. But here ampersand is to be used. But here we have used asterisk. So it is invalid indirection. The other topics we'll see. Next, it is from database concepts. Again, database concepts I have told you to skip that chapter because it's a very lengthy chapter. For smart planning, I have a video where you can plan easily, smartly. That video is in the playlist. You can go and check the playlist. So there actually I had told to skip this pointer and database concept. But for MCQ, you need to refer few topics. We'll see that. So in the model paper, the question is like this. The process data is information. You all know the simple question. Which clause is used with select statement to display the detail in a sorted order with respect to specified column? So this is with SQL chapter. Again, SQL also I had told to skip. But for MCQ, you need to go through some queries. You need to learn the syntax of some commands and all. So the different types of clauses, the different types of commands that what we use, that you need to go through. We will see what are all the topics. So the question is select statement. Along with select statement, we use Which clause? It is order by clause to sort the data. It is order by. Okay. Next, the topology. See, you have two questions from networking concepts. Again, networking concepts I had told you to skip, but for MCQ, you have to go through few simple topics. What are all the other topics we'll see, but you have two MCQs, so it's better to go through MCQ questions, some topics. The topology consists of a central node to which all the other nodes are connected by a single path. A central node means it is star topology. Centralized system means it is star topology. So it is with related to topology. And one more question with communication mode. Simplex communication mode example is television, one-way communication. So you have two questions, 12th and 13th, two questions from networking concepts. The 14th one, it is from internet and open source concept. So it is quite, and this is an important chapter that what I've told you to refer. Important and that is extra chapter that what I've told. So all are simple concepts, like you have to learn about the proprietary software, free software, then open source softwares, all those things. So which type of following source, in which type of the following source code is not freely available? It is proprietary software. Proprietary software is paid software. For paid software, the source code is not freely available. Then, who invented HTML? This is from web designing chapter. Web designing is important chapter once again. So it is Tim Berners-Lee who introduced HTML. So this is what the remaining MCQs. The last one from part A, it is the second main, which is with respect to fill in the blanks. You get all the questions from one chapter, which is database concepts. So the options will be confusing, and one extra option will also be given to make you confused. So you have to be very careful while reading the sentence. The question is like this: a single entry, the row in a table is called as, option is record. DBMS is the only entity where user directly sits on DBMS and views. It is logical one-tier architecture. The data model organizes the data in the form of hierarchical data model. In the form of tree, means it is just now I told hierarchical structure, tree structure. The symbol used to represent entity in the ER diagram is rectangle. All the options are given there itself. And this representation they give, and it is bottom-up approach where it is generalization. So this is what with the MCQ. So let us see the possible important topics from these chapters. So as I said, we discussed about typical Boolean algebra, logic gates, data structures, classes and objects, and function overloading, one extra chapter. So these 6 chapters we discussed in the previous video itself. Now we need to discuss about the remaining chapters, which is constructors and destructors. Again, it is an extra chapter. Inheritance, important chapter. SQL command also important chapter, and web designing also important chapter. Internet and open source concept is extra chapter. And these chapter pointers, data file handling, database concepts, and networking concepts, all these are chapters where you can skip, means you can do smart planning, right? But for MCQ you need to refer few topics. What topics you need to refer, let us see now. Okay, well, data file handling you don't have any MCQ, so we need to refer to these chapters now: constructor, destructors, inheritance, pointers, database concepts, SQL, networking concepts, internet and open source concepts, and web designing. So among these chapters, function overloading, constructor, destructors, internet and open source concepts are the 3 extra chapters that what you need to refer for scoring 65 plus. Inheritance, SQL commands, and web designing are the important chapters. This list I had already given to you, and we have discussed this in the previous video. Please do check out the playlist. Typical Boolean algebra, logic gates, data structures, OOP concepts, classes and objects, inheritance, SQL commands, web designing, important chapters. Function overloading, constructor, destructors, and internet and open source concept, it is extra chapters. So now let us continue with the topics that what we need to refer. So we have Constructors and destructors. So from constructors and destructors, the question was something like about uh, the where to declare the constructor function. So you need to learn about the constructor definition, and some rules are there for constructor that you need to go through. So constructor definition and some rules you need to go through, and rules of constructor. And types of constructors you should know: default, parameterized, copy constructor. They may give you the syntax of default, parameterized or copy constructor, and they may ask you to identify that. Implicit call and explicit call, and one more you have initialization method also. That initialization method also you need to go through. Then destructor definition followed with rules and symbol. So these are all the possible topics you need to go through from this chapter, constructors and destructors. Talking about inheritance, you need to go through the inheritance definition. What is base class? What is derived class? Some visibility mode, private, public and protected mode. Types of inheritance: single, multi-level, hierarchical, multiple and hybrid. You have to refer to the definition. So in the model paper you had the multiple inheritance question, right? Like that. Abstract class definition, virtual base class definition. So all these definition parts you need to go through for MCQ. Well, anyways, inheritance is the important chapter. You will study this chapter completely itself. So anyways, MCQ will be ready for you. But regarding constructor and destructor, as it is an extra chapter, even that also you need to go through completely. Then comes your pointers, where I had told you to skip this chapter, but with respect to MCQ, you have to go through these questions like how to define a pointer, how to declare, that is pointer definition, like what actually the pointer is. It's a special variable that holds the address of another variable, that one. Then declaration, how to declare a pointer, how to initialize a pointer, the notations we use, asterisk and ampersand. So address operator you should know, indirection operator you should know. Some pointer arithmetic operations. What are all the arithmetic operations you can use? Operators that you can use. Operators, pointer arithmetic operators. That is, what are all the operations you can perform? So, which you can use and you cannot use. That is, some valid arithmetic operations use and you cannot use. And pointers and strings, you should know the null character concept. So you must be aware of that null character concept here. Dynamic memory allocation, you should know about new and delete operators, then about the definition part, what is memory leak, what is this pointer. Some definitions you need to go through from this chapter, pointers. Database concepts is quite vast, so you only have to just have a glance on all definitions like database definition, what is database, some database terms, what is file. Say you had a question on records, right? Table, records, tuple, fields, domain, entity, all these things. Then followed with the features of database, you must know all the features and what these features are going to perform. Centralized data management, control data redundancy, enforcing data integrity, data sharing, data security, multiple user interface, backup and recovery. All these features, what they are going to perform, you should know, which will help you for fill in the blanks also. So all these topics that what I have listed, it is for MCQ as well as for fill in the blanks. Then you have DBMS users, what is abstraction, the levels of database, that is you have physical level, you have conceptual level, all those levels are there, no, three levels. So you have external level, conceptual level and physical level. Those levels you must be aware. Data independence, physical data independence and logical data independence. File organization, serial file organization and sequential file organization, random file organization. Some expansion you should know, ISAM. Then database architecture, what is one tier, two tier, three tier? You had a question, fill the blanks. That is one tier architecture. Database model, you had a question for hierarchical data model there. Network model, relational model, some definitions you have to simply go through. It's not that you simply mug up everything. You just have a glance on every definitions there, which will help you for MCQ and fill in the blanks, especially fill in the blanks. This chapter, 5 marks you have, right? So you need to go through all these topics. Then you have components of ER diagram, that is entity, attribute, relationship, the symbols you must refer. What is cardinality and what is ordinality? What is generalization and what is specialization? The method they what they use. So there was a question in the fill in the blanks in the model paper. About keys you must refer what is candidate key, primary key, alternate key, super key, foreign key and composite key. Then data warehouse and data mining. So these are all the topics that you need to just have a glance. Some definition part, you just have to understand what actually these terms are. That will help you to write the fill in the attend, fill in the blanks and MCQ, because fill in the blanks options will be given there itself. You must be capable of choosing that answer accurately. Okay, so these are all the topics which will help you for MCQ as well as for fill in the blanks. Then you have SQL. You have SQL expansion, especially the expansion. They will ask some commands, all the DDL commands, DML, DCL, and DQL. Data types in SQL, operators that what we use, constraints, primary key, foreign key, not null, unique, check constraint, order by and group by clause, group functions, which are all the group functions, which are all the single row functions, right? So that is what with the SQL part. And if you refer to the SQL expressions here, that will help you for the last part E, where you can attend some queries also. Anyways, SQL you will have some, you will know how to write SQL queries. You people have learned in practicals also. So if you have the knowledge of writing a query, you can attend the part E question of writing SQL queries also if you refer to these topics. Networking concepts, as I said, you have 2 questions of MCQ. So these are all the topics you need to refer. Some expansions you need to obviously refer. Some terminologies like TCP/IP, HTTP, FTP, SLIP and PPP, Internet, intraspace, types of server, dedicated and non-dedicated server, types of network, LAN, MAN, WAN, network topology and its types, bus topology, star topology, ring topology, tree topology, mesh topology. You only have to understand the structure of these topologies. UTP, categories, category 1, category 2, all those things like that. Some communication, uh, that is transmission mediums, optical fiber, radio wave and satellite communication. Switching techniques, packet switching, circuit switching, message switching. What technique is adopted? Just have a glance on it. Okay. Because networking concepts is a very wide chapter, you only have to just touch that concepts and come so that you can attend the MCQ. Then communication mode, you have simplex mode, half duplex, full duplex. Go through the examples of all these communication modes. Then you have some networking devices, modem, hub, switch, repeater, bridge, router, gateway. Some mobile computing terminologies or technologies, GSM, SIM, CDMA, GPRS. Go through all the expansions of these technologies. SMS, chat, Wi-Fi hotspots, WiMAX. What is cyber law? India's IT Act, virus and different types of virus. So, topics I have listed here, which will help you to have a glance on these topics and you can easily attend the MCQ part. Regarding internet and open source, you have to know about free software, what is free software, what is open source software, OSS and FLOSS, GNU, FSF, W3C, proprietary software that is paid software, freeware, shareware, telnet, www, web browser, web server, web page, URL. All these are some terminologies and you should also go through the expansions. What is e-commerce, types of e-commerce, property rights, intellectual property rights. So some definition part, you touch that. And this internet and open source concept is an extra chapter where you need to go through this for 65 plus. And finally, the web designing is important chapter. Anyways, you will learn this chapter completely. You will know HTML expansion, about the HTML tags you should learn, text formatting and resizing tags, list tag, link tag, table tag, form tag, web hosting, different types of web hosting and that is types, web scripting, client server-side scripting, client-side scripting, XML and DHTML. So this is what with the MCQ. And as I said, the fill in the blanks, all the 5 questions are from database concepts. Once again, you have to go through these topics of database, all these database concepts topics. So if you refer to these topics, it will be very useful for you to prepare for MCQ. Hope this is a very useful content for you and you can attend the MCQ questions very easily. That's all for today's video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.